Yeah. We do see indeed that this is almost certainly going to be a fairly standard mid-range shaman, and also a mech mage, so probably the most common of both the classes.
Yeah, I think so. Pretty important that Hawkeye has a zombie chow early on to stop it too. And I know he said specifically that he's putting zombie chow in a shaman deck because he expects a lot of aggro from TiddlerCelestial. He was telling me that this morning at breakfast.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed, TiddlerCelestial is known for being very aggro, bringing even a zoo to the round of 8, and of course bring Mech Mage to the round of 8 as well. He also brought his very aggressive mage to the round of 16, so at least three aggressive decks.
All right. Decent curve. I guess you'd still like the 1-drop for the Mech Mage, right?
Yeah,
But
of course.
I guess he has to wait on that.
You always want to curve out well, but if you have a Mech Warper in your hand, I guess it's never too bad.
So I guess he just passed, and then seeing how the Shaman's going to take the initial board lead, I gotta say, double zombie chow. Wow.
Now, actually, Hawkeye has somewhat of a decision to make whether he
Right.
wants to use that second zombie chow, but I think it's all right just to save it because in the following turns you can possibly lightning bolt, or you're probably going to lightning
You will
bolt.
be lightning bolting whatever
Yeah.
comes out, whether it's Snow Chugger or Mech Warper.
Yeah, and then you're going to be filling out the curve with your second zombie chow, and that's actually going to be the perfect start for Hawkeye.
Oh man.
The only way
Water
this could
break.
be better, yeah, water break. The only way this could be better if that were a rock biter weapon instead of a lightning bolt. Oh man, just a vanilla 3/3 in order to pressure the zombie chows. Unfortunately, that's not going to do it because second lightning bolt is in Hawkeye's hand.
Does he want to use second lightning bolt here, or do you think he can get away using like Flame Tongue Totem with zombie chow for mana efficiency?
I think that would be okay as well. The other possibility is you maybe lightning bolt and then coin out a totem for even more flame tongue value.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, nothing that Hawkeye does right now it would be terrible.
I think I like using the Flame Tongue just because then whenever you roll afterwards, it kind of builds the board and Flame Tongue's already out. And I don't want to lock my mana in case like an Azure Drake comes rolling next turn.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like if Azure Drake comes and you're just really sad that you don't have enough mana to play it. All right. Oh, is he gonna just push out another? Might as well, I guess. Push out the totem so that way you have a bigger board to go trading.
Yeah, just what an excellent start from Hawkeye. Not only getting both lightning bolts, but both zombie chows. This field is just insane. And Tiddler might just be forced to play the Goblin Blast Mage as a 5/4, just playing pretty much vanilla minions with no effects, no mech synergy.
Well, it turns out Goblin Blast Mage is pretty weak when it has nothing to do on board, and you're directly answered by a Flame Tongue Totem. So I guess Mech Mage is pretty balanced, Monk.
Yeah, I'd have to say so, but unfortunately, Cogmaster is not a mech, so I think Azure Drake will be coming down. So yet another weak turn from TiddlerCelestial, although this is probably his best turn yet, maybe. And this could be what Tiddler needs to get back in this game. Kind of a blank turn from Hawkeye.
Yeah, not looking very sharp, and of course the totems are now also misaligned because they've been coming through the right side every single turn.
Yeah, the problem here is Tiddler can possibly Goblin Blast Mage, but this is not really a board you want a Blast Mage because of the healing totem that's also on the board. I like this slightly better. That Flame Tongue totem is just, it threatens so much.
Well, it's completely debunking a lot of the possible board that can be built just through easy trades. Fire Elemental onto the Pilot Treasure is really important as long as it's not a high attack minion of some sort.
Nerubian Egg? Is there any way for Tiddler to activate that easily?
It's insurance against Lightning Storm,
That's true.
but that's about it. I mean, that's assuming you're gonna be falling behind on board enough where it matters.
It also could tank a lot of the Boombot shots that we almost certainly will see Tiddler come out with this turn.
Yeah, true.
And want to note that Shaman is still at 30 HP against the Mech Mage, so I would happen to guess that's probably a good place to be.
Yeah, I'd agree here. The fact that Shaman can leverage things like Kel'Thuzad too is going to be so big. Oh man.
If any of these boombots hit, it's gonna be so
Yeah.
bad. Just reincarnating boombots.
Well, I think. Oh, okay. Not really exactly what Hawkeye wanted here.
That sequencing was kind of interesting. I'm not sure if he wanted the Mad Sciences hit or not. I think maybe he was. If both boombots died, he would have played the mirror image instead, because he wouldn't have needed it to ping in that situation. Now, as you mentioned, he can Lightning Storm here, but a 4/4 will come out. I don't think he's too unhappy about that because he can control that with the Dr. Boom anyway.
Alright, Lightning Storm. Plus he can kill whatever comes out. The 4/4 is easily killed. Secret should be Mirror Entity. Oh, it's not.
No,
I guess it's Counterspell.
It's actually all probably Counterspell.
And Tiddler is effectively all in here on the board. But he is so far behind.
Yeah, Tiddler just like nonchalantly pinged something because I think at this point he knows that he can't win this game. Wow, so Wild Pyromancer Earthshock. Well, he knows that there's a counterspell on the field, so I think on this turn if he has extra mana, he might as well use that Earthshock. Anyway, it's a low costing spell, so it's kind of trades 1 mana for 3 mana against the mage.
Yeah. Although he didn't prompt it to break and do that. Oh yeah, he's trying to figure. Okay, it's a counter spell, so he's trying to figure it out.
Can you just not play anything?
I guess you could. You're still, but you wouldn't be threatening lethal, right?
I don't know. I'd still just kind of like to see that counter spell, or rather the Earthshock. Yeah.
Stop it.
And now Mech Mage is playing the control game.
Yeah, because he's worried about dying. How unusual is that? Pretty crazy stuff overall so far.
I wouldn't mind an Azure Drake here into Sludge Belcher and just trade your Azure Drakes. Wild Power.
It's pretty much whatever you want to do, as long as you just don't give too much value on the secrets. You're gonna be so far ahead.
Yeah, nothing is actually too bad here. I mean, maybe giving a Kel'Thuzad to his opponent, your opponent. This is pretty much perfect, having the Sludge Belcher to contest the 4/3 Piloted Treader. Oh, yet another dead draw. Unfortunately, no Doomsayer here, even though Doomsayer wouldn't have even made a big difference.
Well, I mean,
so
now that Mirror Entity's been out of the way, I mean, why just not build up the board?
Yeah, I think
it doesn't matter if he has Counterspell anymore, right?
I think it's just Kel'Thuzad time.
I agree.
Lock out the game even more. I mean, to be fair, I think this game was pretty much over with the opening draws. 2 Zombie Chows and 2 Lightning Bolts. There's nothing really Mech Mage can do about that. Antonitis perhaps, but there's both an Earthshock and a Hex left in Hawkeye's hand. And at this point, Hawkeye is just thinking, do I want to increase my chances of winning from 100% to 110%?
Yeah, there's really nothing to do here anymore.
Still, Hawkeye being a very cautious player, thinking out every single possibility. Maybe that's why he's late sometimes. He's thinking about what's the best way to do my hair each morning, what's the best way to wash my face.
Or shave, or not shave. Looks like he's got a few days grown in pretty thick. I mean, this is really up to Tiddler to just concede or not, but you know, it's one of those things where He's just playing it out on the off chance that he has a comeback potential, right? But I don't think there is. He's not gonna run flame strike. He's just gonna like concede because there's really no point sticking around. Hawkeye takes the first game, and Greece draws first blood over China.
Wow, who would have expected? Definitely, we have definitely a lot of Greek viewers here today.
We do. You know, normally around this time slot, they're used to watching the Kriparian.
Conversation with me this morning. He told me, "Hey Monk, I just really don't want you to be here today because every time you're here, I get second place. Because every time, every
event you've been to that he's been to.
Exactly. I'm like, how is that a curse? Like you're winning $50,000 every single time.
Well, I guess that means he's won this. He's already won this series then.
Perhaps. I'm his lucky charm now, and the next match I'll be his unlucky charm. So this matchup, Tiddler was really looking forward to this matchup. Mech Mage versus Druid, almost unwinnable for the Druid unless you get a Kazan or a Kazan. If you Kazan a mirror entity, or if you put a Zombie Chow into the mirror entity, it's just really hard for Druid to claw back into the game after a huge swing, like copying a Druid the Claw, for example.
Man, what a terrible opening hand for Druid. Hawkeye, of course, doing the proper thing, taking his time on his mulligans, waiting on his opponent. Of course, I would like to milk the lead. You know, it's getting in the head of Tiddler. Tiddler looks like he's easily exasperated just by the by his posture that he's sitting. He looks a little tilted. And Hawkeye, of course, taking extra time when he definitely doesn't need to is like a good way to mess with your opponent's head.
Yeah, I kind of want to talk about the opening hand from Hawkeye. Before he mulligan, he actually had a Blood Mage Thanos in his deck, and I feel like Blood Mage is a tech card that could be very good against Mech Mage. Not only does it power up a lot of your spells to clear a Mech Mage board, which is usually very difficult for Drew to clear, but he also can use it to trigger Mirror Entity.
That's a good point, actually. That's a bad draw.
Yeah,
considering that he needed something on turn 2, and TiddlerCelestial. I mean, these Mech Mage decks, they've had an abysmal win rate this tournament so far.
Exactly. Pretty much every single Mech Mage has drawn poorly, except for when Tiddler played it in the round of 8. And he kind of got a god draw.
Yeah.
But overall, Mech Mage is, they were once at the top of the metagame, but right now it's just all downhill.
Well, thank goodness. I mean, it's one of those things where if decks like Hunter and Mech Mage were always on top, that would make it a lot less fun, Monk.
Exactly. And you know what else a lot of people say is a lot less fun? Dr. Boom. And we're going to see that right here.
Dr. Boom is plenty fun for Hawkeye. Kappa.
And now Tiddler, his stomach just sank. How are you going to deal with a 7 attack, 7 HP monster? I mean, Druid can even just go offensive right here, I feel, with the boombots to cover you. I mean, these boombots could potentially just clear the board right now.
Man. Oh, Tiddler is not amused. Just look at the way he's sitting, man.
Yeah. He looks almost defeated.
This is not the way you want to start off. I mean, to be fair, Druid has also had a super good start. It had Wild Growth, and now it's innovating Dr. Boom. So even if he had a decent draw, would he be able to keep up with the pace that Druid's putting out so far?
Yeah,
it's hard to say.
He essentially needed something like the Mirror Entity out really quickly, and unfortunately he didn't draw that. I think that was really the key card in this matchup.
Yeah.
I have to point out that at BlizzCon in the finals against Firebat, Tiddler also, he kind of had the same expression. He just like almost looked defeated, and Firebat actually 3-0'd him. After the first 2 matches, Tiddler just, it felt like he just couldn't win no matter what against Firebat's awesome Druid deck.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Firebat also says he got really lucky in the finals. He drew Wild Growth like pretty much every game. But there's also a few attacks which definitely defined how well Firebat was able to dissect his play. But that was a really long time ago. BlizzCon's already coming up on 6 months, Monk, almost. Or maybe 5 months, excuse me. So, you know, how consistent can he keep it up? Because right now, Hawkeye is running ship.
think Hawkeye was definitely expecting a mirror entity there. And now he has a decision to make whether to be offensive or defensive, and I
Yeah,
definitely like
be
being offensive
aggressive.
here. Exactly.
You had the 7/7. You have the War Golem.
Yeah. How does Mage even deal with a War Golem? I don't even know.
Well, not when you usually have Dr. Boom, you can or if your opponent Dr. Booms, you usually can Dr. Boom back, assuming you don't fall too far behind, but
Yeah,
he
but
still has to wait on it.
yeah, when a Druid plays Dr. Boom on turn 4, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Dan.
Hawkeye's in a interesting spot where he can continue to press his advantage, but is he worried about taking too much damage?
He also knows that if he wraths this turn, he'll essentially be giving up 2 mana. But I think Hawkeye, what he's thinking now is he's thinking my opponent might just have Dr. Boom on turn 7. So how do I best set up against that?
Yeah, Pilot Shredder would be really nice. So that way it's resilient against a lot of the boom bots.
I'd also like to see Hawkeye basically keep the Zombie Chow for the rest of the game until he sees another secret. So I kind of like this play. It puts a lot of pressure on the field and it gets rid of the counterspell. If Hawkeye draws another card later on in the game, then like a swipe, for example, then he'll actually be able to use it.
Ooh, he has the cloak field, so there is hope. Assuming his opponent can't kill him, and he feels the need to stop the board all the time, if TiddlerCelestial draws into that Antonidas and stealths him, is that game over?
Yeah, basically Hawkeye will have to get the combo before that point and kill his opponent in quite a few turns.
It's about 10 damage right now.
It's actually not that great of a position for Hawkeye, mostly because his opponent has played Dr. Boom, and now Tiddler is just returning the favor. You can't actually even clear this Dr. Boom without giving up a lot of your board or taking 7 damage to the face.
Yeah. That's why it's a little rough. Like, from Hawkeye's point of view, it's like you either play around the Dr. Boom on turn 7, or you just give up the opportunity to develop a stronger board.
Okay, Zombie Chow does come down, which means if Tiddler ever draws a mirror entity or a mad scientist, Hawkeye might be in trouble.
I think Hawkeye already is in trouble.
So many spare parts.
Yeah.
Is this going to be an Antonidas?
No, it's Snow Chugger. I mean, Snow Chugger can still be pretty effective. Man, that heal was actually so significant to the Zombie Chow. Wow, nice.
That was also very significant. It ensures that much damage to the board and to the Ancient of Lore. It ensures that he'll be able to kill it. And even a stealth on the Azure Drake, that's guaranteed 4 damage on the next turn if he doesn't draw a taunt.
Hawkeye has Spectral Knights instead. Did he cycle the Sludge Belchers out of his rotation?
It's possible, it's possible. Hawkeye knows that one of Tiddler's favorite classes is the Rogue, and Tiddler used the Rogue in the round of 16, so he might just be teching against the Rogue with the Druid deck. Not only does Hawkeye know that Tiddler's favorite class is Rogue, he also knows that one of Kalento's favorite classes is Rogue too, and you can't actually switch decks between the semifinals and finals, so Hawkeye might even be thinking ahead.
Well, Hawkeye actually does try to think ahead as much as he can. He was telling us yesterday that he was playing around Clone of Gold as much as possible. We were theorizing about it.
That was interesting. Hawkeye decided to take out the Snow Chugger instead of the minion that had more power on the board. And this is a pretty huge draw. It's not exactly Antonidas, but I think this will do.
Still pretty significant. Alright, even spread.
I like going all to face here.
You would be doing 8 damage. You put him at 7. It's not quite within the range of Fireball, but that's assuming your opponent can even clear the board.
Can you consider time rewinding something?
How about the Goblin Blast Mage?
Yeah, it's guaranteed even more damage.
You can do that and then trade the the spider in, so that way you get 3 damage to the face. That's actually, I feel like that's pretty good actually.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
Because the other alternative is to play a Snow Chugger and then force the Rusty Horn on the spider tank, so that way it takes the most damage and then you can protect the Drake again.
You can also even taunt up the Snow Chugger.
Snow Chugger is also okay.
But no, I guess he's saving for
Saves it.
Antonitis. And wow, I can't believe how bad this matchup is because Hawkeye got kind of like a dream start, but he's still like far behind. And not only that, he's about to lose this game.
He's still barely alive. Emphasis on barely. Druid the Claw taunt is pretty useful.
At this point though, you might just have to go for the Wild Growth. If you don't get anything good with the Wild Growth, you can Shade in Druid of the Claw.
Yes, yeah, Spike number 2 doesn't even help that much. Spell Power Swipe would have been so crazy right now.
Yeah, that was what he was running the Thanos for, so... Ancient Lord?
He's got heal, so maybe he can drag this game out a little bit longer.
Yeah, a lot of Mech Mage versus Druid games end up like this, where the Druid, the Mech Mage is on the offensive all the time, but the Druid just, at the end of the game, he top decks a Fireball or a Frostbolt. The alternative is he never top decks a Frostbolt or Fireball, and the Druid ends up clawing back in the game after a lot of time.
Well, Lotheb is definitely really powerful, especially considering that you want to stop this swipe, or like swipe in a big tempo swing. Question is, how do you follow this up? Gotta trade the Drake in? And
I'm not sure. You've seen both Wraths, so if I kind of like trading the Snow Chugger and okay, yeah.
It's the easy one to piece together damage. I think I'd do that, so that way I keep a little bit more as opposed to just trading and everything else.
Why didn't he?
Why didn't you trade the 2 smaller minions and hero power?
Yeah, that was strange. Like at this point he could have had a 4/4 instead.
Cenarius comes into the hand. That's more stalled. Like Hawkeye, of course, he can just die to a Frostbolt or a Fireball. And I'm pretty sure we're getting to that point where Mage has a thin enough deck where he can get it.
Tinkertown Technician. That's
Zero
not it.
Wine, both of them. There you go. Heal him up.
Yeah, so you don't really need to ping the face here, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, Hawkeye does have the Ancient of Lore, and that's gonna put him out of lethal range, out of Frostbolt.
That is so big. That way now he's out of Fireball range. And Tiddler has the same face as as I did when I was trying to study my economics exam, but of course, you know, I think we're both in a similar position. We were both about to fail horribly.
Now, once again, Hawkeye is in a great position. Oh, Keeper's really nice.
Keeper's pretty good too.
Silence will be really effective.
Hawkeye is truly top decking and wrecking right now.
Also,
maybe not necessarily the best of the best, but pretty damn close.
Also, no Savage Roar and no Force of Nature in Hawkeye's hand, so Tiddler might have 2 turns to draw into his burns.
You might have to draw back-to-back burn though, that's the thing.
I think that's his only choice, actually. That's not a burn, unfortunately.
Keep up the pressure with pings. Hawkeye can just end this game if he draws into some big damage, but doesn't get it. If he drew Savage Roar, that would have been it.
I think that's 17 damage.
Yeah. Swipe just to see what it is.
Unstable
Stable
Ghoul.
Ghoul? I mean,
I don't think it matters too much.
yeah. It's kind of where like the Whirling Blade actually is pretty convenient. It does stop the Ancient of Lore though. You can Tiddler can ping that next turn.
Yeah, you can ping it, but after you ping it, that means you're giving up 1 damage. Like after you ping it, you're still you're close to dead on board. I guess that's really good too. It's not
yeah,
a
the
burn,
Neutron.
but it's going to stall you for one more turn. It's going to stall your opponent. And if your opponent wants to break off the Divine Shield easily, he has to actually use the hero power.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, there's really nothing else. Like, Tiddler needs...
Yeah, I don't think there's anything.
He needs to not die.
He needs Pyroblast. And
no, that's it. Game number 2 is in the books. And Mech Mage fails again.
Wow. And I really think that game came down to Tiddler never drawing a Mad Scientist and never drawing a Mirror Entity. Those are the key cards in Mech Mage that really are so effective against Druid. Copying any of the Druid minions besides Zombie Chow is just so amazing.
Wow, Hawkeye is one game away from...
There it is. The good old Face Hunter. Probably everyone's favorite Hearthstone deck.
It's definitely one of Hawkeye's favorite. He just likes being aggressive in general.
That being said, I think Tiddler's hand seems slightly better.
But there's Unleash the Hounds, right? Unleash the Hounds is one of those rubber band cards that slings you back in the game. No matter how big of a lead the board might get with small minions, you might be able to slingshot yourself back to the game.
Yeah.
Ah, 2 Secrets being drawn.
Wow, Tiddler, he looks so hurt. Does that mean there are only 2 secrets in this deck? It's certainly possible.
I don't know. That booth is soundproof, but I'm pretty sure if we could hear it, it'd definitely sound like he was making the call of the whales. Just look at how sad he is, man. And of course, Hawkeye, he actually doesn't have a turn 2 play that's very safe. The Knife Juggler would just pretty much get eaten up. So he just opts to drop the trap, or proc the trap with hero power.
You know, as much as we say how good Mirror Entity is good against Druid, it's actually really bad against Face Hunter, because Face Hunter, they have very small minions, and a lot of their minions can charge. So if your opponent plays like a Wolf Fighter, for example, then you have a 3-1 charger, or your opponent has a 3-1 charger, and you only just have a standard 3-1.
Mm-hmm. Did we see what trap it is?
It's Counterspell.
Counterspell? Okay.
Yeah, Tiddler played the Counterspell from his hand on turn 3.
Okay, and of course Hawkeye knows because he played the Worgen Infiltrator instead. So...
That being said, the Goblin Blast Mage in Tiddler's hand is probably going to be a key card. It's probably the best card in this matchup. Pretty much the only form of quote-unquote AoE
from
in the Mech
Mage
deck.
side, right?
Exactly.
Oh, dude. Yeah, Goblin Blast Mage is going to be crazy clutch here.
How lucky is Tiddler?
Nice.
Nice.
Pretty clean kill.
Yeah. The first hit was looked tenuous after the first hit, but all 3 remaining hits make their mark.
He is back in it. And Tiddler's, he's looking sharp. He's sitting up straight again.
Hawkeye also has the Hunter's Mark for Counterspell, so that's going to be a 3-mana tempo swing for Hawkeye.
Yep. Assuming he can capitalize on it.
And I'm certain he can with this Unleash the Hounds play in combination with the Knife Juggler.
Yeah, but this is definitely one of the stronger boards that you could have against Unleash the Hounds. Health-wise. Juggle to the face. Juggle to the face?
Oh. Really nice juggles, actually, overall.
You think so?
Yeah, I think face damage is what he wants at this point. I think it is a race at this point.
Yeah, fair enough, because he's got kill command. So does he just charge straight?
Why not? You know, a big criticism of Stansifka's Face Hunter play yesterday from some of the European players was that he traded too much. For example, trading a Leper Gnome plus Abusive Sergeant into a Keeper of the Grove, when he could have just gotten 4 more damage to face. So I really like Hawkeye's decision to just go for the Dome here.
It is called Face Hunter, right?
It's not called Board Control Hunter, of course.
Tiddler can play the board control game, but he also has to start considering when he can do damage to win the game.
You just have to go for it, yeah.
Chinese players are starting to stand up, Monk.
Yeah, Tiddler is their last hope.
This is like pretty serious for them. This is their country pride, and I don't want to say it out loud, but it could be their livelihood on the line too. You don't. No, one does not simply represent China in international competition and lose.
That's true. But Hawkeye, he's really worried now. He doesn't have lethal, and he sees so much damage on his opponent's side of the board.
Wait, if Tiddler was going to trade in his Mech Warper, shouldn't he have played the Yeti first? So he can squeeze in the Mad Scientist?
Yes.
Oh boy, this one's going to come down to the wire.
Is it
going
going
to be a Fireball finish?
Or Fireball or Frostball doesn't even do it.
Man.
Is that it?
Tiddler puts on the stink face. I don't think it's it. I mean, by all means, he's still not dead if he just controls the board a little bit, right?
Yeah. Also, Tiddler has to consider a second Unleash the Hounds.
Right.
He's actually thinking about clearing the board at this point.
Doing big damage.
Yeah, just to deny his opponent the 1 damage from Unleash the Hounds, and also deny the kill command potential.
Hawkeye needs 3 more damage. 3 more damage to just end the series and go to the grand finals.
That's not it. And the Chinese players all heave a cyber release. It's 3 damage. It's not
really
gonna
nothing
come.
you can do. That's
And
it.
Hawkeye, wow, Tiddler's back in the game.
He bowed his head away. He thought he was dead.
Oh, he had a heart attack there. A mini heart attack. I mean, he is one of the older Hearthstone players. He might be getting there.
Yeah. I hope he watches his cholesterol level, I guess. It's definitely not very good for his anxiety to deal with that. You're staring down Face Hunter, but he has to do it 2 more times. He still has... I would guess that right now he's feeling more like Firebat than anything else. Firebat was a player that he in the BlizzCon, he actually made a series of really questionable plays because he got a little too emotional involved into the game. It was against Kranich, I believe. It was like a Zoo vs. Hunter game. And it's the only blemish on his mark for his championship run, because other than that, he played spectacularly.
Yeah, of course you're referring to the infamous Silverback Patriarch game.
Yeah. Silverback off the web spinning, if you guys can recall. Shielded mini bot early on to stabilize is pretty effective, but
Tiddler has a nice curve.
Remains. Yeah?
Shielded mini bot into Owls. Almost the perfect start.
Yeah.
Of course you would want Zombie Chow, but I'm not even sure if... I mean, because Tiddler has researched Hawkeye, he knows Hawkeye likes aggressive decks, so I'm sure he's going to run at least 1 Zombie Chow in this deck. The issue with this matchup, Paladin versus Face Hunter, is that even though you can get board control, you're going to be hard-pressed to lethal your opponent, because Paladin is just such a... not a very aggressive class.
Right.
And
you can't flip the switch easily.
Exactly.
Oh wow, is he playing board control? Interesting. He didn't want to waste damage with Eagle Horn Bow and overkill the shielded mini bot. Lol, that doesn't really do much.
Yeah.
Just develop the 3/3. Animal Companion, but you know, Hawkeye made a choice to play off curve, and he, as a result, is going to miss a hero power this time.
Wow. Yeah, like you said before, Hunter is a lot about getting the most damage in for the amount of mana that you have.
I said that like 4 days ago, Mo.
Yeah.
But thank you for remembering.
Yeah, but because Hawkeye has been pretty much missing his curve every single turn, he's getting less damage in, and effectively around 1 damage that he didn't get every single turn.
Man, Wolf Rider getting a little bit more damage in because of that Leok buff. Starting to get pretty scary. Lotheb can be pretty valuable too, though.
Yeah, Lotheb is valuable, but if Tiddler wants to race his opponent, I think he has to use a Consecration here. The Zombie Chow is actually very detrimental to the race game. It's going to give his opponent 5 extra HP, and it's certainly going to die after the Explosive Trap goes down.
And the Explosive Trap also is problematic because it gives another charge of the bow, I mean, again, Hawkeye's been playing slightly off curve, but it doesn't matter. Tiddler realizing he's in dire straits.
Yeah, this game just might be over very soon.
Is it time to just low theb and pass? How do you do this, Monk?
I don't even know how. I can't think of a situation where Tiddler can come back in this game.
He needs heal bot.
He needs like a heal bot into Guardian of Kings, into Lay on Hands, into another heal bot.
Yeah, even just heal bot into like Sludge Belcher. Problem is like you can have Sludge Belcher, but you can still push through.
Tiddler needs to think about what's in his deck, what he can draw into, and plan out and formulate a plan from here.
Yeah, and if that doesn't work, formulate an escape plan right now through the trap door.
Yeah, you don't.
So that way the authorities can't catch you.
Yeah, you don't want the Chinese players all hunting you down because you lost the final deciding game.
Magic Wind is on his knees praying for Tiddler right now. I kid you not. It sounds like I'm exaggerating, but that's exactly what happened. Can you confirm, Monk?
I can definitely confirm that, Frodan. He's very worried about his personal friend and teammate.
6 HP remaining. I'm pretty sure this is exactly what Y2K felt. I was too young to remember, but I think a lot of people are like really anticipating the countdown from the Hunter's hero power of just like when the destruction will be. So for some of these people, it's exactly the same.
Yeah, imminent destruction. But fortunately, you know what? Y2K was actually not that impactful, but I think this will be impactful for the Chinese team because it looks like Tiddler will be going out fairly soon. Anything that Hawkeye could top deck from his deck, almost anything, could do the extra damage that's needed.
He's 4 damage off. And of course, the explosive trap's just sitting there, so
yeah.
How does Paladin win? Paladin needs to create the burst to win the game. So he has to do extra math as well, because Zombie Chow will heal. He's got 8 damage. If he plays Muster for battle...
I think he's hoping at this point that the only chance for him to win is if this is Snake Trap, but unfortunately, Explosive Trap does come down. And Hawkeye, with the current hand that he has, he might just win.
He might just juggle for the win.
Exactly.
He's gonna play Sylvanas. Tosses out the well played, and we're gonna find out if Hawkeye can win this turn, or will the game go on?
Oh.
But he only... I don't know, man.
Wow.
I don't know. This is actually still pretty tough.
So Tiddler's sitting at 4 HP. Oh my god. Are you serious?
He needs to juggle on the... He needs to juggle twice the face or on the Outdoor Peacekeeper. Oh, he got one! Dude. This is for $5,000. Hawkeye could double up. If this juggle hits... Oh, the Peacekeeper! Oh! Stays alive.
He stays alive.
He's just hero power, right?
Yeah, I think hero power right here.
Just hero power. This Haunted Creeper doesn't do anything.
Still, you know what? True Silver Champion off the top is lethal.
Or Consecration, or anything. Anything that does 2 damage. Okay, Tidler's praying. Oh, he can do it.
It's possible.
It's going to come down to the knife jugglers. He's down to 1 HP. Okay, so he's got 11 damage. Just 2 of these juggles. He's got 4 juggles. 2 of these juggles have to hit the face.
I can't believe it's all coming down to this. Europe versus China, the final Chinese player. Can he do it?
Oh, he's being dramatic.
Hero
1
power?
juggle.
Does he?
Oh, he got... That's a 25%. 2 more. Can you do it just 1 to the face?
No!
1 to the face.
1 is not good. No!
The last chance.
Oh!
Hawkeye is going to the grand finals, and TiddlerCelestial's dreams are crushed. That Ferrari is going bye-bye.
It's going to be wheeled off because Hawkeye... Oh my god, Hawkeye can't even believe it. Neither player can believe it. What an epic finish to this match. Oh, so intense. And the whole room is abuzz from both sides.
Yeah, and the nation of Greece is in rapture. This is the savior of your country, ladies and gentlemen, Hawkeye.